I really appreciate it. Oh man. Well, our levels are looking good and everything's ready to roll. So
Awesome.
thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having us, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. I'm stoked because we got the whole band here, which is freaking dope.
Yeah.
I always like to start out with just quick introductions, give you guys just a little bit each, tell us individually who you are and something unique about you, kind of elementary school style, something people may not know.
All right, lead
Okay,
singer.
I'll go first. I'm Sarah. I'm the lead vocalist. Kelsey and I right here started this band in 2018.
19.
Right, 2019. We just kind of noticed the lack of women in the music scene, and it's grown since then, so that's really cool.
Heck yeah.
We started the band and we were very welcomed, and we found Andrew right here. It's weird because it's backwards. Andrew, and then we found Tom and Noah, and it just kind of all came together, and we're being offered tours and stuff, so it's been a really cool thing, and we've been singing and performing since we were little, so we were like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it. And it worked out really well.
Epic. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm Andrew. I play guitar and I do all the keys and production for the most part.
Heck yeah.
Let's see, cool elementary school thing. They got the starting the whole band because there's a lack of women. That's like the coolest thing. I was gonna say my like day-to-day job, I guess, is I run a lighting rental business. So I do a lot of like ground packages for local bands, and I'm doing music video rental and stuff like that. Super passionate about that, and because of that, we bring out our own lighting to every show that we play now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I mean that makes a big part of the production, man.
It
that
really
whole
does.
lighting show.
Yeah, I guess there's like my cool fact, but yeah.
That's sick, man. That's awesome.
I'm Tom, drummer. I have been with the band since Andrew joined. We met at B-Dubs and had a little discussion. It turns out it fit. I'm a transplant to the Denver area. I grew up.
Excuse you.
Mystic is the star.
I'm from Minnesota initially, and then I moved to Fargo. Lived there for quite a while, so the accent comes out every once in a while.
Okay.
No, often.
Yeah,
not once in a while. Often.
The Milwaukee, is that a boot? Is that kind of like Canadian? That's similar to the Canadian accent?
Yeah.
It's
Fargo.
hard.
Pretty much, yeah. I
comes
joke.
out a
I
lot.
joke, and I call him a Kmart Canadian.
Yeah.
Kmart Canadian. I love it.
100%. But fun fact is I'm an EDM producer for cheerleading competitions and gymnastic routines.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, we actually just sold a song together. Too.
Yeah, we sold a song. He wrote a really, really sick lead line, so I turned it into a song, and I sold it to a gymnast.
That's so cool, man. That's fun. I love it. That's so cool.
Hi, I'm Noah. I play guitar. I'm the newest addition to the band. I joined in 2020, right before COVID hit and all that
Literally
fun stuff.
like
a week before we locked down.
Yeah.
Brutal.
But yeah, I went out to a show to see Suitable. Andrew was like, "Come on out, check it out." And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, "Can I join? You guys need to send guitars."
And we did.
Yeah, that's exactly. No, I mean like get rid of all the fluff, and that's exactly like fact for fact.
And our tracks crapped out a few times where like it was like half of a song because the tracks weren't there, and I was like, no more. We need something.
we did the whole like fake guitar, because we're not.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
But now it's real, and we're real.
That's awesome. That makes it so much cooler.
Weird fact about myself. I can play 13 instruments, 14 instruments at like a collegiate, late high school collegiate level.
Wow. I mean, because some people can say they can play 13 instruments, but that's because they can pick up an ukulele and strum a G chord or a C chord, right? But to say that it's a collegiate, that's pretty impressive. What are the instruments?
Oh, okay. Well, are we gonna go through all of them right now?
I mean, 13.
I studied piano in college. I've been playing guitar and bass my whole life. I've been playing drums for. I'd say drums aren't quite at a collegiate. They're like high school. They're not quite there.
They're heckin' good.
They're all right.
you're pretty good drummer.
And then, single reed family, so clarinet, bass clarinet, baritone, tenor, and alto sax.
Heck
Little bit
yeah.
on soprano. I'm okay on trombone. The only thing I don't really have is valved brass.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I can play balalaika
What?
very well. It's a Russian lute. So
Okay.
those like really cheesy Russian folk songs.
Yeah, I love it. That's
I won't
awesome.
bore you with the whole list, but yeah, that's like a sampling.
That's fantastic, man. Coolio. All right, last one here.
Last but not least, I'm Kelsey. I'm the bassist. Born and raised in Denver, Colorado. You know, I've known Andrew and Sarah for a long time. Sarah's my cousin, best friend. And so, yeah, fun fact about me. I did not know how to play bass until we started the band.
Yeah,
And
she
so-
Yeah, she literally
Formed
picked it
band.
up for this.
And now she's
Yeah.
badass.
Just
That's
shredding
awesome.
bass.
No, and like, yeah, I don't know if you've listened to our new album, but like some
Yeah.
of the on there get semi-difficult.
They're-
For her to step up to the plate from 2019 through now, like from starting from literal level 0 to this is ridiculous.
No,
That's
I
freaking
was-
dope.
Yeah, I was watching a video of myself the other day from like 3 years ago, and I'm like, I was scared of the bass. I was scared to do anything with it. But-
And now I have her so high in my in-ears because she's so good and such like a fundamental part to keeping track of where we are in the songs. Like she's so good. She's amazing.
That's so cool, man. I love it. First off, I love the cohesiveness. Just so dope to hear how high on your own supply with each other, right? I love it. That's one of the coolest things to me when bands are just stoked about one another's accomplishments, abilities, talents. Because obviously it shows in the new album. Obviously, even in the first EP, but this new album is stellar.
Thank you.
You guys accomplished a lot. Like, you know, starting out. Let's see. I'm gonna look at real quick at the track list here because I thought it was a really cool kind of journey because Disaster opens up with some really chunky kind of heavy guitars,
Mhm.
and then you
That's the
kind of
one.
soften up, and then you go into the very pop electronic, and then you obviously get Josh on there, which is so cool, and then you go really kind of electronic with Complicated. I just loved kind of this whole array of sound that you guys accomplished, and not one of them felt out of place, which was really cool.
Oh,
'Cause
wow, thank
usually
you, man.
that's the tough part, right? When you're wanting to experiment with a bunch of different sounds in one album, keeping it cohesive can be slightly difficult. So I do obviously want to talk quite a bit about this album because it's your debut album, right? Because obviously you had an EP, but this is like your full length, the debut. This is kind of
It's the real shit.
yeah, this is it, right? This is the step one into this huge new world. So tell me a little bit about kind of the process of getting to In Color. Obviously it's 3 years in the making to get to this point, but you know, going from what was the first EP you guys had? It had that song Black and White on it, which was super
Don't
dope.
Look Back.
Don't Look Back, yeah. So tell me a little bit in terms of In Color. Tell me guys a little bit about the album and kind of the journey to get to this point.
When did we make Sorry? Because that would be like the first
Oh god.
piece of that puzzle. It was
That
like
was-
right when lockdown
Oh.
happened.
That was right when I
It
or
was
pass,
pretty
did we write
early.
Pass Me By first? Or wait.
We did no, but we're really written around the same time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we wrote
Mhm.
Sorry
Sorry
in
was-
like April of 2020, and that's kind of where we discovered like, oh, we can blend a bunch of stuff together, and it like works.
I think we really like found our sound. So the first EP was kind of like old songs that we all have that we were trying to like find our sound together, trying to work it out, figure it out. It was already like
Yeah.
a song though. But the
Okay.
difference is with In Color, this was something that we all sat down and wrote together. Like this was all brand new things. We sit down and we're like, okay, how are you guys feeling? Like we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're all like trying to still be a band, still trying to write, still trying to figure all of this out. Our tours are being canceled, our shows are being canceled, you know? So we really relied on each other heavily to be there for one another, but that kind of just influenced our sound too, because we're like, you know what? We're stuck in a house, but we're gonna make some groovy shit.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
that's really what came out of this. And I think that's what's really exciting about this album is it's like fun. And I think this is really what Suitable Miss sounds like. Our old songs are still precious to us, and we've kind of like amped them up a little bit to play them live so they match this new album. But I just think it's more us, this album in general. So.
Yeah, there was just a lot of freedom we took because like once here's the funny thing is like on a timeline basis, technically most of this album was done when Don't Look Back came out. technically.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was
Sitting on it.
just
pretty
sitting there.
close, Yeah.
What we decided, I remember at some point in the we'd written all 10 songs, and really the freeing thing about making this album was that like we felt like just because I think it was a byproduct, like Sarah said, being locked down, but there was like no limit at all. We were like, well, why not put trap hats and synth over a breakdown and drop B? I see no reason not to. And it,
Absolutely.
obviously, well, you can't just throw you can't just throw the whole kitchen sink in and hope it sticks, but we were really lucky to sort of find our groove in the midst of throwing in the whole kitchen sink, and
Yeah.
what did stick. But I think that how we got here is crazy, just because we finished most of these songs around January 2021, like right when it had turned 2021, and that was like right
Okay.
before we released Don't Look Back. But we had all these songs, and we literally sat on them and just listened to them over
And critiqued
over
them
and
with
critiqued
so
and
small
refined.
adjustments
Waiting for the
here and
perfect
there.
moment.
Yeah.
And played
Yeah.
them live, because it's different like sitting down and listening to like a put together song than like what it would be live. And we want it to be kind of similar, you know.
Yeah.
We also
And
have
that's-
some snazzy things we do live, but
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that is one of the difficult parts, right? Is making it so the song is still cohesive amongst itself between that recording and the live experience. Obviously, you guys are pretty privileged to have a large enough band to have, you know, a lot of the bigger instruments covered, and then having that backing track obviously probably helps a little bit in that live setting.
Absolutely, yeah. There was so much stuff because we have a like one of those little interfaces that has like 6 outputs. So we
Uh-huh.
send a stereo pair. You know, we try and bounce it out like very similarly to what
Yeah.
how the record got mixed down, and it ends up translating like very, very, very well live. I would say like 99% of the time.
We're big
And-
nerds, so it ends up we end up putting a lot into making sure all of that translates well live.
Yeah, I mean, like the instrumental section of this band are basically just a bunch of like metal and prog nerds writing pop music. So that's what I think about. But yeah, I mean, like they were saying, we sort of just kept poking at it and refining it, and we ended up redoing, like it was almost ready to just go, and then we ended up redoing the entire mix for it because it's all self-recorded and produced as well.
Awesome. Yeah, because that was actually the follow-up question I had was, I like you said that you do the production, Andrew. So you guys do everything in-house.
So basically, how it works is like I'm responsible for tracking in all of the instruments, right?
Okay.
Tom here is responsible for tracking in all the vocals because he's got the vocal booth and the right, sort of.
he likes
treatment
where
for
I
the
like to
room.
record.
Yeah.
He has where I
Um,
like to go.
And then a lot of
Okay.
the drum responsibility actually gets shared between the two of us because we're both drummers as well. So some of us maybe we'll write out a groove, maybe we'll play it in on an E kit or whatever. But it's basically me and Tom made the whole. So I ended up mixing the whole thing, and then Tom mastered it.
Dang. And did you guys get professional education on that, or was that just like, because obviously, I mean, it sounds like, between what you do, Andrew, with the lighting, and Tom, you actually sell, mixed EDM tracks to professional athletes. I would imagine there's a bit of like a background there, a resume that kind of came with it. And like, is there a lot of professional, or was this like, hey, I love this stuff, I'm gonna teach myself and roll with it?
I've been composing since I was about 14.
That's
It started orchestrally. I ended up getting a music scholarship to college, and then
Awesome.
I didn't go for music at all.
Oh, really?
Out and went for business instead because I decided that if I was going to college for music, I would be forced to do it for the rest of my life, and I would end up hating it. So I'd rather choose to do music than be forced.
I like that
I made the
perspective.
choice to get really good at music. It was basically my entire life, and then it became my side job.
That's awesome. So did you got a degree in business, but did you do any sort of music classes while in college?
Yeah. I
Oh, okay.
did percussion. I did production for a collegiate. I don't know what you would say. It was kind of a combination of 3 separate colleges that made albums of usually just choir students and vocalists, some solos, some group work, and then 3 or 4 different jazz bands. And then I was lead engineer. And actually, my wife hired me on that, so that was kind of cool. Pre before we were dating.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like,
Chelsea! Yeah.
She's love her. She's amazing.
sleeping to the top, man. What the heck, dude? I'm just kidding.
And then I did 3 years of audio production school at CU Denver, and I also
Okay.
my other job is mixing at a venue called Moe's Barbecue here in Denver.
Oh, cool.
In front of the house there. So between those 2 things and like running our own in-ears, it just like it was a little of both of what you said. Like it was half getting a professional education and half like, well, I really like doing this, and I also we didn't like have money to go to a studio and like record.
Yeah.
So
God,
Oh yeah.
Colorado
Yeah.
studios are so expensive because they're all owned by like massive names. It's like trying to
Also,
record in Los Angeles.
I
Oh,
am
really?
so picky. Let me tell you how picky I am. Like, I make us redo takes like over and over and over. It'd be so much money to do hourly studios.
well, and even down to the mixing process, like we'll sit down together and I'm like, do you like this compressor or this
again.
compressor?
Yeah.
You know, do you like this take on it or this take on
Nope,
it?
not at all. Again, so it works out really well that they're so talented to be able to do that. And I'm really grateful.
That's incredible. And
Yes.
yeah, and coming from your guys' side, because you know, two cousins loving music, realizing there's a lack of female artists. That's quite the journey to like, all right, let's make some music. Kelsey, no idea how to play the bass. Let's figure this thing out. Let's go for it. I love obviously the grit there. There's just a lot of determination. But from your side, Sarah, like when it, that pickiness, is that what, like, when you were looking to get members into the band, was that something you were looking for? Was kind of that in-house production, being able to be like, hey, Andrew, I'm going to take advantage of you just constantly re-recording this and
You know what? I think honestly, like, we just lucked out. Me and Kelsey
Oh,
lucked
yeah.
out like big time.
Oh,
Like, of course, we were like picky to an extent. Like, we found Andrew and he shreds. He's amazing. So I was like, oh, well, this isn't too hard. But then we auditioned. He was originally going to be the drummer. So we were like auditioning guitarists then.
Mhm.
And he's obviously really good at both. But I just didn't like any of them. They just didn't
It didn't
fit the
click.
vibe. For me, I obviously was looking for good musicians, but I was more looking for people that like would be fun to tour with. That
Yeah.
would be fun to be writing with. It would be fun to go to shows with, that could be my best friends. Cause like I was ready to put my everything into this. Like I graduated in criminal justice and I am not using my degree so that I can work at a pizza restaurant and go on tour. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
ultimately, like this was going to be a huge portion of my life. And it meant more to me that they were genuine, good people. And I'm really thankful that I found that they're all my best friends. And it's a blast to tour with them. Like, of course we get on each other's nerves, but who wouldn't?
That's
But
human.
they're
Yeah,
still
that's
my
just
best
natural.
friends.
It's 6 human beings in a minivan.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
nothing's
yeah.
gonna be perfect, but we
it's
do it
totally
because
fun.
we love it.
And so like,
So
we auditioned so many people and the
Oh,
vibe just wasn't
yeah,
there.
we did.
No.
They were either like we had one drummer that was like, oh no, I'll just show up to the shows. You guys write everything and send it to me and I'll just be there at the shows. I was like, the heck you will, my dude. Hell no, you will.
Like I'm
So-
not hiring a tour drummer. I'm hiring, like, we want a drummer, like someone who's actually part of the band.
yeah,
just
someone
found
wants to do
really
it for the
cool
glory
people.
of it.
We found really cool people who happen to be very good at what they do. So we really were just really lucky with how it came together.
That's incredible. And then conveniently, Noah's obviously super talented to be able to say, hey, can I join? And he just like gets thrown right in. It
Yeah.
percentage wise, like how much of it is like personality fit to talent? Like when you were initially getting started,
It's
And
a big lean
I'll tell
personality
you,
to tell.
It is probably like, I don't even want to say 60-40. I
I'd
want to
say
say like
70-30.
70-30.
I would absolutely say
70-30.
70-30.
I do not.
Okay.
I know her
Because
too
people
well.
can learn. Like I just got done with Kelsey, who just learned and was fantastic. So
yeah,
I was like, okay, people can learn, but at the same time, I don't want to be spending forever waiting on these people to learn. You
Yeah.
know? So it just really like personality means so much to me. I did not want people in this band that I do not like.
yeah. I'm sure, Tom, when you were in your business degree, I got a degree in business as well, and like they were constantly talking in like the HR classes and like those different classes. You can hire talent or you can hire a personality fit, and it's like if you hire talent and they don't fit personality wise, you're probably going to fail. You're going to have to fire them, and it's going to be a big expense, right?
Challenge
And-
is just do the job and leave.
Yeah, exactly. Because and like it's obvious that personality was a big part. Because like I said, you guys jive really well, and that actually is really helpful with like when I hear the music, it's obvious, and it's weird because you can't really put like some sort of like measurable thing on. Yeah, this band gets along and this one doesn't, but there's something about the music. And for you guys, what is it like when it comes to you guys getting along so well? How does that really help with getting this album out? And like, because obviously rewriting that many times would probably start to tear people apart if you weren't getting along well. So like when you guys were writing and putting this stuff together, how often is it that your personalities and getting along with each other is kind of the determining factor for the song?
That's a really good
That's
question.
actually
I really think what this group is good at is just communicating. Like if I pitch something and like, let's say I'm recording, I pitch something and like Andrew and Tom don't like it. Like they just say it in a way like, like I think that was a really great idea, but I really think that it'll sound better if we do it like this. And it's all about trust too. Like if the majority rules, like we go with that. And that's just how it is. And I think we trust each other and our opinions and we vibe really well when we're writing. And I just think
Trust
we're
is a
lucky
huge
it comes
piece of
together
that.
really well. And we all kind of like lead in the same direction, especially with this album. I think it showed us that we're all kind of aiming for the same thing in a way. So
Yeah, a lot of the idea, like Sarah said, trust is a big thing because a lot of us working through like those redos and those ideas would eventually, like we would all eventually end up at something that was very similar to each other's idea, if not the exact same idea. And it's just about being able to work with people. That's really what it comes down to, because like it's Suitable Miss is not Suitable Miss like because it's like the Sarah show or the fucking Sarah and Kelsey show or the Andrew and Tom show. It's not. It's Suitable Miss because it's all five of us do a thing. And it comes together in a very, very cohesive manner. And that's why it is Suitable Miss. So it's, I mean, trusting each other is a huge portion of it, but it's easy to do that when all of your bandmates like kick ass at what they do. So
that trust brings up, I scrapped a solo in the middle of a music video shoot, and Andrew was like, well, go home and write a new one, and we'll have it in tomorrow. And
I was like,
send me home to re-record it.
I was like, you can give me the take, like the stem, perfect. Like I have it mixed.
I have like 8 hours to turn this around. Like,
do it. If you can do it, then we can do it. Like
we got it done.
And we did. And that's what's on. That's the song with Josh from Magnolia Park.
That's so cool. So I'm very curious on that story. Like how do you go? Because how do you go from having a fully mixed song and literally being at the photo or at the video shoot and say, actually, deuces to this part. I've got to change it.
No. Let me set up the context.
Yeah.
So we shot this video, and I'm sure you've seen the other video that we have, Sunshine.
Yeah.
The pizza place. We shot those like what? That was like 4 days. Back.
It was 4 days in a row.
Back to back.
Okay.
It was 4 days in a row. So this music video was done long before the release. So that was the only reason we were able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like the mix and the master, like especially if we own the projects, is just as easy as me opening that project again, swapping out the song, and then sending it to Tom and having him remaster it.
But also see, it's trust, because when I heard them talking about that, I was like, Josh is here. He has a show in 4 hours, and you're going to change a big ass part. And I was freaking out, but I was like, you know what? They got it. Andrew has
and it came out
it's
so
fine,
much better.
you know? Like, I
It
was
did
like,
come out really good.
that's y'all's
so
deal.
much better.
Woo!
That's
Y'all's
so
shit, man. That was crazy. I can't believe- That's like top 5 like total BS moves we've pulled off as a band that we shouldn't have.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we pulled it together. It
It's
helps
worth
that pretty much everyone here has the ability to record because Andrew processes everyone's. This is more from a string standpoint. Because Andrew processes all of our guitars on the computer, we send him dry tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So we can at any point really retrack something and send it over.
Okay.
So it isn't as crazy as a workaround. It was more of the fact that it had to be done by like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it had to be a perfect take, like one that you would get out of normally sitting down for an hour or 2.
So I sent you 7 or 8 different takes.
Yeah, and I basically just like cropped the best parts. It took me like a couple 3-4 hours to actually go through, but we did it.
So
Damn it.
how did this happen though? Like, hey, I actually don't like this part anymore.
So the biggest reason was there was part of something happened either. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was somehow either I played it half a beat off or it got misaligned half a beat off. And then therefore everything else got thrown out of whack and it phased over the solo back into time. So there was no way to correct it without re-recording the entire thing.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't that you changed the solo. It was just that
I did end up changing 2 portions of it. at the
Okay.
end, it was like 2 bars of something at the very end of it. these little arpeggios that I play.
Any non-musician would have no idea.
Yeah, they
what's
don't.
changed. Yeah.
It's the end of the song. No one would
And-
really notice it back to back, but
Okay. And when you did this, what was Josh's thoughts? Because obviously he's in a.
yeah.
I don't think he had any
No.
semblance of
literally-
idea.
I
We were
don't think
trying
he
to
even
play it
knew,
cool.
honestly.
Okay.
We were
kept
trying
it
to be
really
cool.
DL
We were.
and-
I mean, we're all from Colorado, so in our state, it's legal to partake in certain fun activities. So just
Yeah.
just a little bit. We were having a good time.
just low stress environment.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was a low stress working environment. There
And
you
it was
go.
stressful. Like we recorded like the whole band part of that music video the day before, and then
Oh,
Josh's
okay.
parts were just that day because he flew in early. We flew him in, and then he had a show that night. So we were just more
Gotcha.
focused. Like, let's
It had
get
already
me
been
and
done.
him. Let's get him doing his part. You know.
Gotcha. Okay.
It had already been taken care
yeah,
of.
yeah.
It had
done by the
already
time
been
Josh
done.
showed up.
It was
Because it
done.
happened day one. I recorded it night one, sent it back to Andrew. The first thing we did when we got to the studio was we recorded my solo shot, and that was it.
That's awesome.
And so,
No big deal.
Also,
Yeah.
shout
I mean-
out to Lost Films. Luke Ostermiller,
Luke
our director,
Ostermiller.
is the freaking goat,
The
and
goat,
he
yeah.
was so accommodating.
I
and-
was so nervous. Like I'd never done a music video before. Like we did before, but it was like here. Like this was
Yeah.
like at a different like studio. It was like professional. It was like
there was a lot of
stuff
money
going
on the line. There was a lot more
Yeah.
money on
Yeah,
the line.
there's a lot more money on the
He
line.
was so cool, like especially with the Sunshine music video and the pizza place. Like I kind of made like a little format, but he was so nice and he had so many ideas to like make it funny and very us. Like he made
Yeah.
it very us. So that's what I
all,
really
yeah,
loved.
all of like the acting, like when Noah from Colony Class is like screaming at Arno.
Oh, that was
It was
so
so
the
funny.
Noah, the Noah fight.
Yeah.
So funny.
That's. I mean, because that's. I can imagine the stress that you're talking about, Sarah. Because like that's crazy. I mean, that is almost unheard of to be like, all right, well, we have 8 hours. Let's get this thing turned around. But
Oh yeah.
that freedom, that flexibility, like that is such an asset
Yeah.
to the team, because like the fact that you can do that and not just like because that's obviously a very specific scenario, but with the music in general, be able to say, I have an idea, and from inception to mixed and mastered
Mhm.
in such a short time, and the ability to even tweak after those because that's the hard part, I think, for a lot of bands when they have like an actual producer who's outside of the band, who is in a studio where they're paying all these hourly. That mix and master comes back and it's like, yeah, you have a few back and forths, but after that it's pretty much locked in. But you guys are like, hey, so change my mind, we're gonna change this too. And that allows for your sound to be very, very precise, right? To be
It
just
is,
exactly your sound.
Surgical almost. And like, I'm not gonna lie. Like when people do last minute stuff, I'll give them a little lip because I'm the one that has ultimately has to fix it at the
Yeah.
end
Oh,
of the
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
They're like,
Late
hey,
fix it.
really quick. They're like, hey, can you turn up the guitar? And I'm like, fine. And then I'll do it.
You know what really quick is? This is a very loose term of quick here.
Yeah, right. I'm like, you real quick. Yes, exactly. Like you don't understand how long it's actually gonna take me to do.
And I just want
But
to take a quick second to shout out mine and Kelsey's work. We work at Saza Pizza and
Oh,
Salad.
yeah.
We manage there, and we asked the owner. We were like, "Hey, can we film a music video here?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And we were like, "What's our limit? Like, what can we not do?" He was like, "I don't give a rat's ass what you do. Just clean up." I was like, "Mistake number one."
Yeah,
Like,
you done
Yeah.
screwed up,
Yeah,
boy.
And so we
needed
had a
cleanup.
huge food fight. Like it was like food everywhere, glass everywhere.
Clean till 4 in the
It was
morning.
horrific, but we all cleaned up like
Yeah.
really late. Everybody stayed and helped us clean. So
Oh yeah.
shout out to Saza Pizza and Salads and Jeff Rogoff.
And that,
That's
and that all,
awesome.
I think that all comes back to just like our band has a spectacular level of willpower to get things done.
We will
Oh,
thread
yeah.
the
Sounds
needle
like it.
is the phrase that we use a lot with this group, and just we are getting it done.
Yeah, there's a
Just-
lot of like if Thanos came up to us, he's like you lack the will to not with us, bro.
We're getting
Uh-uh.
it done. We're getting it done.
Not with us, bro. We already got them Infinity Stones. You know what I'm saying?
2 music
That's
videos
Two
in 4
blues.
days.
Two blues. Two
Two
That's
blues.
incredible. So I do want to kind of go back and talk a little bit more where you guys were talking about the difference between the initial EP and having already basically recorded in color by the time you're releasing Don't Look Back, right?
This is a dumb story because the story of Don't
I
Look
was
Back
actually there.
itself is even dumber.
True. It's true.
Because
What?
this album Don't Look Back originally came out in 2019.
Okay.
It was really not done that great.
It was
because
really
we
bad.
rushed it. We just
Really,
wanted to
really
get it
bad.
out because
I
we were like,
wasn't
oh, we're a
ready.
new band. We have to.
Not like a single lineup.
You know what's
So-
funny is I actually knew that because I had I remember like way back when it initially released, I was going to have you guys on the podcast. I had some scheduling conflicts.
How did you
With-
even know about us then? We were literally nobody, bro. And it's not
So-
even like we're anybody now, but that's crazy.
So
We're more
it-
now than we were then, for sure.
so I had listened to the EP and then I was like, cool, I'll get this all. And then like I said, I'm terrible at scheduling. I've got 2 kids. I've got a wife. I've got a full-time job. So my life is a little bit hectic. So my
Oh,
schedule is
sorry.
it's kind of brutal. So I was initially going to get it set up and then like, I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to work out. And then a year later, I was like, does it exist anymore? Because it was mid-pandemic. I was like, oh, this band was really dope. I'm trying to like go back and find music that I hadn't listened to in a while. I wanted to kind of revisit some stuff, right? And I was like, I know this one, Suitable Miss. I remember listening to this EP. I want to check it out, see if I can get them on the podcast. Now that it's mid-pandemic, it'll be a little easier because time was a little bit less chaotic. And then it was gone. I was like, okay, I guess not. I don't know what happened. And so I thought you guys had just like, I don't know. I thought you just disappeared, right? Yeah, like I was like, I actually thought it was like, what's that? The Mandela effect, where I was like,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
I just
Oh,
thought,
no!
right? Like I was like, maybe I just thought that I knew about this
I
band.
think
and didn't.
so. I would
We
hope
exist.
so.
We're the very
Kelsey,
few
Andrew,
bears.
Sarah, we do exist.
You do exist.
Basically, it was a choice between do we follow up we had those, so it was Don't Look Back, and then we had those 3 singles, right? All we could have been Thought of You, Passed Me By. And it was a choice between do we follow those singles up with what would be eventually become In Color, or what's the other plan? And we were like, we freaking hate this EP.
Yeah,
Some of the
Yeah.
songs on there didn't even make the redo. Like we replaced them
And,
with other
like,
songs.
Also, we were like rediscovering ourselves too. Like for me personally, like the first Don't Look Back, we're in a lot lower keys because I was scared to like sing. Like I just
every
didn't.
song
I
on a
actually
keyboard.
played on the
Yeah.
And I would
played
fight
on
with
the
them, and I'd be like, "No, lower, I can't do it." But then, like Tom was like,
I
"No,
made her
just
sing high.
do it,
Yeah,
just do
Tom-
it."
yeah,
And
Tom-
I did. it. I was like, "Oh, you're right.
Tom
See,
is
the
a vocal
trust
producer who will
thing-
kick her
the
ass.
Yeah.
trust thing like builds in, and I learned to trust my voice and trust them and trust what I could do. Same thing with them. Like we figured out funkier shit to do. And
That's awesome.
We wrote Q&A.
Yeah, that was
That's
the
the
questions and
first-
answers is one of the first things that you wrote, and then
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
that's one of the songs that was like for that redo of the EP.
Oh, okay.
It's just a lot. Like it, I look back on it and I still love it.
I like
Even
Don't
though the
Look Back.
songs aren't sonically like quite in line with how advanced the In Color stuff is, like the mix is really good.
Q&A is one of the
songs
hardest
are really
guitar parts
fun.
we have ever written for this band. And
Oh, really?
From the second verse in the lead word.
Oh yeah,
and
it's super difficult.
it's
That's
But,
when
like
we
a-
started to find ourselves.
Oh
was
my
when
God.
round Q&A,
Okay.
so I was
Hard.
like build into this, and then
yeah, and you can tell in Black and White too. We're chugging away. Like
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
nobody's
so
business.
That busted out the drop
We
tunings of the
hated
7
Black and White.
strings.
we
Oh, really?
I saw a video of us playing Black and White at Cervantes.
Oh, Black and
Oh,
White's
yeah.
different. Yeah, Black and
It's
White's
so
way
bad.
different
It's
than the
so
OG.
awful.
I think that's where the idea for redoing Don't Look Back all came about, was
Was
from
redoing
the
Black
desire
and
to
White.
redo Black and White.
we
'cause
hate
Oh,
it.
really?
so much.
We're like, we're gonna make it more fun and funky and it's good. And we have
Why? Why did you hate it so much?
It was just our
It was
first song we
too
wrote
cliche.
together.
Oh,
Boring.
It
No,
was a
no,
walk around
no.
the block.
This
That's
is
how
what
I
it
felt.
is. That it was our first song we wrote together, and we practiced that so many times.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I recorded Black and White. Like it's just, I just got so sick of it. And then we like jazzed it up, and it was like a completely different song. Also, it was like way longer when we first did it, right?
Oh yeah.
And we
We
like
trimmed it-
reformatted
the first
it.
so
chorus
much
off.
fat.
We trimmed so
off.
much.
It was like 4.5 minutes, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah, it was long
It
as
was a
hell.
4.5 minute pop formula. Like,
You have no idea how that song.
so bad. And now like we actually want to do it live.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
it's like a
First,
lean, like 2
yeah,
minutes,
maybe
50 seconds
maybe
long.
And
Yeah.
we're so
Chorus,
good
chorus,
at it because we played it so many times, but it's like more fun now.
That's awesome. And like when you guys are putting these songs, like, you know, putting something together, obviously, how long, like, how do I word this? Because it's, you know, when you said you're finding your sound sonically, putting things together differently, changing things up, what was it that changed from from that initial release to, oh crap, we're actually going to pull this back. We're going to pretend this hasn't even released, to then releasing it a second time and saying, all right, we've got some really sick Q&A here. That's like a super dope, like starting to find ourselves. We're completely rewriting Black and White. We're finding ourselves. But what was it that kind of like started triggering the change? Like when you realized, no, we're going to pull this back. We're going to kind of almost restart. We're going to kind of have like a hard reset and go from there again.
I really do think it was just Black and White. It was
Yeah,
literally
I-
like
that
that
one
decision
song.
was all
Yeah.
born out of
I
that.
think
I
that
don't-
it's how we write. We would have meetings at like one of our apartments or houses, and like I said, we would sit down and say like, how are you feeling? Like Moment, for example, the
Mhm.
last one. Like I sobbed when we wrote it because I had these words and I had what I wanted to say. I expressed to them how I was feeling. I was going through something kind of shitty. And then Andrew comes out and he spits these amazing lyrics that say exactly how I'm feeling. And I just sobbed. And I cried when recording
Yeah,
it. Like
you
it was
lyricized
exactly
Moment.
what I wanted. It was exactly what I wanted. And that's the thing is I think we've known each other for long enough that like they knew what I was going through. They know how seriously I take things. Like he knew exactly what I was trying to say. So I really think we sit down. What's going on? What do we want to write about? Are we in a fun mood like Gone came out to be? Or are we like in a more serious moment mood or Pass Me By, stuck in a pandemic? You know, they're just
And
chemistry's there.
not
Yeah.
to turn it to me, but when I joined, like that changes.
That
like a
helped
new
a lot.
member, just in
Oh, yeah.
general, joining a music project
Oh, yeah.
changes everything.
Oh,
it was,
absolutely.
like, probably 6 months to a year of us learning how to write together,
Yes.
and like because
Oh,
Andrew and I
and
have
there was
written
a
together.
third. Then there's a third piece to this too,
Yeah.
and it was everybody getting geared the hell out because in the
Oh my
pandemic,
gosh, we dropped
Upgrading.
mad.
So we were all like, so the three of us were lucky enough to work at this restaurant, which was an essential business, and then on top of that, we got to reap the unemployment benefits. So
Yeah.
we were like, time to fund our music,
And no one hook up
because
so
they
we
were
really good
at
I got
a music
the,
store,
Yeah, I got the hookups
at a
for-
place that we can't say.
but it sells
We're
here.
not gonna-
But yeah,
we're not gonna talk about it.
I've heard plenty of stories of bands with that place that is not to be spoken. The name is not to be mentioned.
We're
Right?
not careful.
Music go round.
Yeah, like one of my some of my favorites, man. Yeah, some of my favorite stories, man. Like a band I've talked to a couple times, Canadus, they're out in Buffalo. Like the drummer, he's like, yeah, I bought like $2,000 worth of cymbals and then returned them the next day. Took them into the studio, used them, returned them the next day. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm a big gear nerd, and so we like went through everything and just figured out like exactly what everyone needs.
Oh, they
like,
know everything.
built all of the gear, and everyone's boards and everyone's instruments are like fine catered towards what their natural tendencies
That's
are
awesome.
and who they are as players and people. And then I do all the tech work for all the instruments too. So that's one more thing that we can do in house. I do all the setup for the stringed instruments.
Especially
Yeah,
not like
awesome.
mid-tour. They'll pull out all the guitars and clean my
Like, clean 'em,
microphone
restring
and
'em,
Oh,
and-
make
yeah.
everything
Wow.
just shiny.
yeah, we have. I mean, like we have essentially like a full
We're a full
service
production team.
touring party
Yeah.
and crew within a band.
Me and Kelsey are the moms. We provide all of the medicine moms. We provide all of the vitamin C every day.
Well, and then like
you know.
the more important thing is they're like the merch managers, so we don't.
Oh, yeah.
The guys
Our
in the band
merch
don't touch.
Face.
Don't put the
And
pretty
decked
faces
out.
behind the merch table. No one
Yeah.
wants to see our ugly.
Yeah, I was like, let's face it, you guys wouldn't sell as well as them anyway. They're more personal.
Exactly. We're like, go.
Unless we're in
We're
Dallas.
covered in
Yeah.
sweat and gross. You know what I mean? Like, go sell our shirts. No, we'll take care of your bass and your microphone and your whatever else. Like that's
I just have like a little box that has my stuff in it, and they just carry it. for me.
And that's
Buy
the
some
beautiful
merch.
thing.
Yeah, everyone has a role too. Live, our roles are very different.
Yes.
Like it's
the whole
like,
trust thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's not like I set up my stuff, Andrew sets up his stuff, Kelsey's. We all have different roles that are fine tuned toward our knowledge and our skill set
I love
for
that.
like setting up the production.
Well, and like from my perspective, I'm looking at it too, and I'm like, man, how much easier does it become to make this like profitable too, right? Because now you're not hiring out.
Real easy.
Right? Like, that's and this is such a smart.
Yeah, we have an
Accountant.
accountant. We have an in-house accountant.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we lucked out. We have everything
This is
here.
Yeah, like there's my business mind came through, and I was like, man, you guys aren't paying outside producer, you're not paying for studio time, you're not paying for a mixing and mastering. you're like the obviously the process of distribution significantly different than it used to be, right? So much easier, so much more
Thank you,
accessible.
DistroKid, bro, and your yearly membership. I love you. Mwah.
And then not having like because you guys like especially in over the last year or so, you guys have been really ramping up the number of live shows and like actual touring and like going
I love
distance and-
Touring.
I
and-
hate being
This is our
home.
5th tour, 4th tour.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to count Vanful and Nonsense City of Auburn as one tour together or separate?
Those were
Separate.
2 separate tours.
Okay, so then this
Yeah.
is
Those are 2 separate
1,
tours.
2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. This is
I
number
hate
6
This
this
is
being
year.
home.
2022.
All I want to do is tour, like being back. Like I love Saza and like the service industry stuff. I make good money, but it's like I just want to go.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that, but I'm
It's
trying
a
to quit
dream.
my job. Like,
I feel like I'm one of the only people that doesn't necessarily mind being home, but it's because I get to do music
yeah,
for my job when
you
I'm
managed
home.
to-
Yeah.
you made the
Yeah.
transition.
Man, yeah, that's just like that's such a unique position, and it's so cool that you guys have that opportunity. And like I want to go back to one other thing that that Sarah mentioned in terms of In Color. How many times was In Color re-recorded? How many?
Didn't we do a couple of them? Oh, here's a funny story. Josh from Magnolia
16?
Park. So I recorded Forever, and then he came in and recorded his part, and he outsung me on my own song. I was like, this ain't gonna fly. I gotta do it again and try a little harder. Like I had to like,
Yeah, so she came over and I was just like, better.
yeah,
Where'd he
no,
go?
they have to like yell at me sometimes. Like, no, push harder,
No,
do better,
more,
go.
more.
Yeah, I had to redo it because he is freaking amazing. And
So
I was like,
cool.
I sound like shit next to him. Like,
So
I-
we did draft 1, which was like 9-ish songs long, and we got that was done like the end of 2020, and then there was draft 2, which was right around it was right when Sorry came out. It was like October 2021.
Okay.
Like 3 official re-recordings,
Yeah.
like 3 official re-recording remixing of everything, and then we redid everything again one last time in December of 2021.
And then Andrew showed up with Complicated, and we're like, that's
Oh,
a
yeah. Toss it on the
and then
record.
there's another
And then
great
it made it
That's
complicated.
there's another
Yeah.
song
Just
tour.
like
Song
Yeah.
back
tour.
song in a box with a bow.
And
Here
it's like
you
my
go.
favorite
Like,
one. It's so good.
It's song
I love
tour
that
got
song.
written like on a whim in December of 2021, which is not that long ago if you think about it.
Yeah, not at all.
On a whim. No, me and this Dan from Boy Hero, we were just sort of futzing around the idea of writing a song together, and we just started throwing ideas around, and I was like, whoopsie, I had an idea and I finished the whole song. Better
Like,
show it to the
throw in
band.
the album.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
love-
like,
we
we
were
should
like,
just do this.
yeah.
Yeah, I love how that one turned out because it's so fun. It is like I don't know. I love the very poppy vibe, but it still sticks true to Suitable Miss. It's like that song is really fun. I like that one a lot.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we adore that one.
That's a
Suitable
fun one,
Miss
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun too to have it kind of ride into the middle of it's like the intro to the album, and it's like, all right, this is kind of the intro to the middle of the album, and it's kind of fun because like I said, the way that it flows is really fun to me, because it's basically a giant flex of we can do that too. Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah, we can do that too. in a good way.
But so we don't sound egotistical, but that was like the entire point.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was like it's not in like a showy way, but it was just in like a hey, we aren't gonna box ourselves into anything,
No,
but we're going to constantly be adding cool elements and experimenting, and it really came off as a really fun project, right? This whole album, and this is one of those odd topics or awkward topics because it's now like this is the same thing as with what you guys were doing with Don't Look Back, right? It's like, well, you already have a whole other album recorded, right? I'm imagining that you guys are already in the process of a new album, even though this one just barely released. And
already started.
Yeah,
there's a
Sorry.
lot of
Got you.
demos. There's a lot of demos floating
There's a
around.
lot.
We've
of
been too busy to sort of do the thing that we love doing, where we sit down, like Sarah says, and we sort of establish what kind of mood and what kind of topics we want to tackle. But I'd say there's like between everything, maybe 6 or 7.
I have 2 I need to bring.
I have 4.
Yeah,
so that's 6.
I have 4 or
Yeah.
5.
Okay, so
So,
11 or
another
12.
album.
Yeah, just kind of kicking around.
An entire other album just kicking around right
Well, I mean,
there.
some of them are like 90 seconds of a thing, and some,
Some
of them
might
are
be
like
combined into like one song.
yeah. But I mean, there's ideas are flowing for sure, and we're gonna drop some covers. I know we were intent on doing something like that. Maybe, probably like early next year.
Yeah,
We want to
maybe.
let In Color have its moment of glory.
Oh, absolutely.
Covers and
Yeah.
maybe some remixes, some
I'm doing
like
some
alternate
EDM
takes.
remixes
Yeah.
of our
Oh, they're
songs.
so good.
There's
Yeah.
so
That's
much
so
fun.
cool.
Coming to the top 40 club near you.
Yeah.
Like, straight
I'm
up.
gonna do a dubstep song and a drum and bass.
Drum and
song.
Well, no, and then
bass.
I want to do like a soft like lo-fi trap remix
Yeah.
for
Oh, that'd be
yeah,
so
just
cool.
do some alternate versions of stuff.
Sarah and I were
I-
talking about doing
version.
piano vocal stuff because I play piano. That's like what I'm
Oh, that'd
actually
be
good at.
cool.
I play guitar.
We could, yeah, no, that's what,
Yeah.
just because again we self-produce. There's so much we could do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
stripped
so-
down version would be sick. That would be so much fun. And then friggin' lo-fi, like that's going like I listen to
going
lo-fi all the
nuts.
time as I do software development every day. I'm just like lo-fi in the background. And one of my favorite things was when Pure Noise did their lo-fi. I was like, this is amazing,
I
right? Like,
sneak to that shit, dude. It's
yeah, dude,
so
it's
nice.
incredible. I was just like, this is
Clairvoyance, lo-fi is
yeah.
oh man,
That's a good one.
so
The
good.
weirdest one, the weirdest one is hearing Knocked Loose as a
Oh, right.
lo-fi. I
Wait,
was like,
counterparts too. I think they have what is it? Wings of Nightmares is one.
yeah.
yeah.
Loose has a
Really
lot of-
freaking cool. It's pretty impressive, and so that would be super dope to hear some of these as lo-fi too. That'd be, I mean,
They're kind of set up for it. you know?
yeah, I
They
love
look
that
like
the possibilities
forever.
are endless for you
Release
guys.
the
It's
guitars,
incredible.
low pass filter the vocals, and call it.
Yeah, I don't really even need
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, I just
Probably
that's
just do a little click.
Yeah.
that's so awesome. That's just so exciting to me because it's like to have so much talent and to just say like we're gonna constantly be iterating and constantly be adding and tweaking and developing just makes someone like me who loves listening and who really enjoyed In Color, it makes me so excited because it as like as a fan, there's never an end to what we can expect, which is kind of selfish, right? Like, but it's kind of
Well,
like
bro, we are happy
Yeah.
to deliver.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Oh,
If people keep listening, we'll keep making.
we got
the wells are full.
7 strings on this next record. My God,
no
like,
way.
we're
Oh,
we're
yeah.
really trying to lean into everything. We're really now that we've sort of found what is suitableness, we're trying to lean into all the tropes that make suitableness. So you know
That's
what I mean? Like
incredible.
we want to get more of in touch with our pop side. We want to do a little bit more like spaced out, maybe some more atmospheric, some like really explore like the mainstream side of stuff. But we also want to play and drop G with 7
And get
strings.
proggy with
So
That's
yeah,
so
there's a lot
cool.
there's a lot of space we want to explore, and I'm really excited to explore it.
Some more bass features on the next
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of going back in time, when Suitable Miss started, what was aside from seeing a lack of female vocalists, which I'm honestly some of the female led bands are like some of my favorites right now. Like sure you guys have heard Neverlyn, had them on the podcast. They're incredible. They're out of California.
I have to check
and-
them out. I don't think I have.
Yeah, they're super, super awesome. But then like bands like Yours Truly out from Australia and Stand Atlantic. Like,
My homies,
Stan!
they have stayed here in this very house with me.
no way. That's a
Yeah,
dude,
I hosted them on one of their first US tours because I'm I'm semi close, I'll say, with Kenny, their tour manager, because he
That's
used to be a
incredible.
band from St. Louis that would come out to Denver and I'd book him shows.
that's awesome. But like there are so many great ones now, and you guys are in that list. That's so freaking exciting. Obviously another one that I've been really, really enjoying. Meet Me at the Altar. Holy
I was
crap.
hoping you'd say that.
Just saw
I freaking
them.
love that band.
Yeah, I
They're
saw them
so
with the
fun live.
Used and with Coheed, and it was so cool. So
Noah and
cool.
I saw them with Knuckle
Knuckle
Puck
Puck
and Hot Mulligan, and
Oh,
that was crazy.
That's a crazy show right there. Hot Mulligan. I don't know how that guy's voice lasts an entire tour.
No.
Incredible.
Dude, it's crazy. We
Dude.
love
I
them so
can't
much.
imagine.
We love them so much, though.
I'm
one of my
obsessed with
favorite
Hot
bands
Mulligan.
musically.
Absolutely obsessed with them. Like, I don't know. But going back to my question, because I kind of got derailed there. But aside from like the, needing stronger female vocalists and stronger female led bands, what were some of the things like best friends, cousins, like that's kind of convenient too. Like, what were the things that motivated you guys to say, all right, it's time to actually make this a thing and create a band rather than just kind of like listening?
That's
And,
for you two. You guys really started that.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Kelsey's just staring at you. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you to you.
You know, we have been on stages ever since we were little. Like, I think a big part of it was like just wanting to do something that people were going to pay attention to, that was going to matter, you know, because music has always been a big thing in my life that like helped me get through a lot. Like there's albums that I still sob to because my sophomore year there was a shooting at my high school and it was a One Direction album, but I just still sob and it just gets to me every single time. Like I just want to make music that can help people because that album really, like there's a song called Through the Dark that really just pushed my ass through that so hard. And so like I just really wanted to make a difference and like make music that could help people and like pay back what was given to me, you know, if I can, even if it helps one person, you know, if we're playing to a crowd of 5 people and it speaks to one person, that makes it worth it. You know, music has always just been something that has been so important to me. And it sounds so cliche, but like,
no, that's a great answer.
Through the darkest shit. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's, do you guys remember that movie Pay It Forward? Did you ever watch that when you were a kid?
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's an old movie. I don't remember who's even in it, but the whole premise is, you know, this kid, I'm probably completely off, but from what I remember, this kid's about to die and he starts this whole Pay It Forward plan, right? Where it's like, he does something for 3 different people, one thing for 3 different people. Then he asks them to do something for 3 different people and to pay it forward, right? He says, never, you know, take what you get and pay it forward. And how cool is it that you first off found solace and comfort in music, because that's one of the universal languages, right? Like bands from anywhere can kind of speak to one another. But then to say, like, to find your voice, and I want to kind of touch on that because Kelsey, you didn't play the bass before. Sarah, did you sing before you started Suitable Miss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sang a lot. Really.
Okay. Did you sing in like any bands or anything?
No, so like she was saying, we grew up in a really musical family. Like we did shows for like school and our church, and we were actually on the X Factor.
Oh no way! That's awesome.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, they played a lot of rounds on it too.
So there's like 5 or 6 rounds before you make it to the live show. We made it through all of those flying colors, but we were like 13, and they were like, the shooting hadn't happened at that point, but they were basically asking for like a sob story.
Yes.
That they
didn't
could
have
make
one
it
yet.
us,
They want drama.
Yeah, and so we just really didn't have anything at that point, and they just cut us, and we met Simon Cowell, and we were close to Demi, but we didn't meet Demi Lovato at that time, but we made it far. So I think that's what really gave us the confidence. Like, you know what?
Right.
Like we have the talent, we have the drive, we have, you know, the ambition. We'll make it happen. So
Honestly, thanks we didn't make it because now we're here.
yeah.
I know, right?
You guys didn't get X Factor because now we're in a sick band.
Well, and like I've thought about this a lot. Like how many of those bands or musicians just don't go any. Like at least I'm thinking about like American Idol, right? Like Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood. Who else has done any?
That's it.
You know,
Right?
everything happens for a reason too. Like it just so happened that I posted this Facebook post like, hey, 3 people looking for a drummer. He had just moved from Fargo.
And I was like,
and
like
how
many months ago?
Like, you know,
yeah, it was
is
like a
just
couple
luck.
months.
It's just
Everything
luck.
It's
And, like,
incredible.
It happens for a reason. If we were on X Factor, we would probably be nowhere right now.
Well,
Yeah.
Now we're going on tour with Calling All Captains, and that's crazy.
Which is freaking awesome. One of the coolest up and coming bands like out there right now. They are incredible.
Yeah.
I love their vibe. And I didn't even know about that tour. When is that?
In like a week and a half.
It's incredible. Man,
Yeah,
I totally missed because I know you guys recently did a tour with City of Auburn, which Michael, what a rad dude. Talk to him on the podcast.
Oh, Mikey! Oh,
I would
love
die
those.
for him. He's so
Dude,
cool.
he's one of the most, like, I could tell he's just one of the most genuine people like in the world, right? Just such a good-hearted person. And so saw that you guys did tours with him. I was like, dude, that's so awesome. And I'm
around
so
him every
stoked that
day.
he's got new music coming out and made me super pumped. But yeah, so when like let's talk about that tour with Calling All Captains. What are the, you know, how many legs are you, like, what's the legs that you're doing? Which cities? Like, obviously you can't name them all, but how many dates?
No, I mean we're only on like 8 or 9 shows. So we're starting in Rock Island, Illinois at Skylark, and then we go to Lincoln, Kansas City, Oklahoma, Oh, excuse me. Oklahoma City. Odessa, Texas, Albuquerque, and then we end it back here in our home state, and we do Denver and Fort Collins Friday, Saturday to end it.
Sick.
They take 3 days off, and then they meet up with a different band to finish out the rest of their tour.
Okay.
It's
I
so
mean,
thankful, though.
Yeah.
I will give you guys one criticism. We're literally across the mountains from you, and still haven't seen any Salt Lake City dates. So
Oh,
Where?
We
Where
haven't
are
been
Salt
west
Lake-
of the
Salt
Rockies.
Lake
We haven't
City,
been west of the
Utah.
Rockies yet. We still haven't.
I
been
was
west.
just
west of the Rockies
So-
yet.
I know that's what I'm saying. We're literally 6 hours, like 6-hour drive from Denver
October,
to Salt Lake City.
Look,
you know?
I'm like the tour manager, booking agent guy, also in the band. So we're actively working.
I would
on
love.
Oh, I'm just giving you guys a hard time. I
it.
just
No, but
wanna
like
see you
I
guys
want
live.
to play. We need to
No,
get
as
we
Salt
need to get to
Lake,
Cali
yeah.
this fall.
Yeah, you gotta push us.
So we have to go through
Is
Salt
the
Lake.
loading
Listen
dock-
Listen,
here.
loading dock still around?
the loading dock.
Oh,
is
the
still
loading dock, man. What a venue.
Let's
Yeah.
put Complex. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the
Oh!
Beehive.
Oh!
Beehive is really bumping. They've got a lot of good shows coming up at the Beehive too. So I mean,
Yeah, I exchanged an email or two with somebody, just their at hello@beehive or whatever the email is. But I would love that. Would be my first pick. Is they seem like lovely humans in the room. Looks amazing.
yeah, they're kind of funny because they literally like, from what I know, they had two. It was kind of a combination of two storefronts, right? And they closed off one of them and only took the one, so that way they could have 666 as their store number or their address number.
How
Um,
badass.
So that's that 666 State Street, South State Street, or
That's
something like
so
that.
sick.
And
I
so,
love that.
So yeah, that was their big thing, and but yeah, this Wildlife has played there quite a few times actually, and but yeah, that I haven't been there yet, but I've seen it popping up a bunch. So
Yeah, that's our ideal. But yeah, we'll make it to Utah at some point. I want to say this year because we're already planning out our fall.
I mean, Kilby Court too. That's one of the
I
coolest.
know. I've
Oh,
seen Kilby Court.
Dude, Kilby
I-
Court. That's where I saw Broadside and With Confidence and
Warrior
oh,
Strong is played there, which I'm
yeah,
sure
dude.
that's-
Kilby Court has quite the. I mean, and if you wanted to even come closer to where I'm at, there's Valor, which is in Provo, which is a freaking dope venue.
Oh,
That's a
Boardwalk in Orem.
it's in What was that?
Have you been to Boardwalk in Orem?
That's the Orem.
I have, yeah, I have been there. Valor is kind of the bigger one down
Gotcha,
in this
okay.
area because it's Boardwalk is just like I don't know, 15 minutes away from Valor, but Valor is kind of the one where like that's where Imagine Dragons and Neon Trees and the Killers. That's where those guys they all have strong relationships with the guy who, and Valor's a small venue. I was just there this last weekend for a friend of mine, and yeah, it's a smaller but super one of the coolest venues I've ever been to. I opened for Neon Trees there when I was 17 years old. It's pretty incredible.
What? That band is goated, dude. They're so good.
I saw them
Yeah.
at Bank years ago.
Yeah, dude, it was before they were even signed, man. I was just like, dude, these guys deserve to go places because I mean, and they did, which was awesome. So, anyway, I've talked your guys' ears off, but I am so stoked. Like I said, really, really big fan of what you guys are doing. So when you do come to Utah, I will be there. I definitely am so stoked to see you guys
We'll
live.
make it happen, man. We will. We will.
Absolutely. Well, real quick, before I finish everything up here, I always like to end with just totally random non-music related questions. You guys
Oh,
still have
perfect.
2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this first question is because I am a sugarholic and I eat way too much candy and sugar. So this first one is what is your favorite candy and or dessert? Oh, dude,
Now,
those are
this is what
so
we do
good.
on Eat This on
Twin
tour
Snakes.
non-stop. It's this for the whole band. We
I
have a
ate-
unanimous decision.
I ate 6 bags on the last tour.
Oh my gosh.
The mamas of the band buy so many of these to bring
Speaking of
on
which,
tour
can you
with
pass
us.
those
Freaking love those things. Those
That's
things are
it,
so
right there.
good.
That's the answer.
Oh, I love it.
Or anything in chocolate chip.
So is that the same answer for everyone? Everyone's just straight up hard about Twin Snakes?
Yeah, these are
I
my
think
favorite
so.
sugary things.
I like Skittles too. I eat Skittles.
Oh, heck
My
yeah.
birthday was last week. I got Twin Snakes for my birthday.
I love it, dude.
Off tour, I go to the 7-Eleven and I buy them. Like,
Oh,
it's-
dude.
Yeah, it's
We
Yeah.
stock up on tour.
a total,
We bought,
total,
like,
total
70
favorite.
bags.
It's a
Plenty of
problem.
snacks.
It's a
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
I need to eat those again because the last time I had them was right at the very beginning of getting COVID for the first time. And so I was eating them, and like I didn't lose taste, but sweet things tasted bitter to me. And so when I was eating them, they tasted terrible, but I loved them before that. So now I got to get a bag and try and eat them again, you know? Thank you. I'll just take that and eat that. Oh, man. I love it. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. All right. Next one here for you. So this one, sometimes it's hard to come up with your single favorite. So, you know, I'll accept favorite, you know, top 3 or even like favorite collection. But what is your favorite movie?
Oh, damn.
I like the Titanic. I've always watched the Titanic.
It's a Wonderful Life. The
Oh,
old
nice.
From the 30s.
Nice.
Titanic is obviously my wife. That's one of her favorites. And then It's a Wonderful Life is just timeless. Like that's every year for Christmas, man.
My old band was all based. What, 3 bands ago before this, the whole theme of that band was everything from that movie. Like I wore the rugby jersey.
No way.
Or in the movie, like I got a replica and wore it on stage. Like
Wow. Mary, alas of the moon.
Yep, that was our intro. That was our intro. Was the Lasso of the Moon?
That's
bit.
incredible. I love it, dude.
Okay, I have. I guess I'll do 3. It's
Perfect.
Ghostbusters, the original,
Nice.
Yes.
Empire Strikes Back,
Mm-hmm.
and the first Indiana Jones movie.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
dude.
There's no
I
Marvel
was gonna
movie in
say
your
Indiana
list.
Jones.
On the top 3,
On top
no,
3.
of all time.
Yeah.
No, if you do top 5, I could see one of them making it in there.
Yeah.
But just to go 3, no,
Yeah.
because Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
That's
Beautiful.
number uno for
Yeah,
me, bro.
so
and then
good.
Empire right after that. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. Solid. You can probably see my obsession. Right there is Dagobah with Yoda and
Oh,
Luke.
okay. So we got 1, 2, 3 now for Star Wars nerds here.
Yeah, and then if you can't tell, like this is kind of hard to tell, but this is a picture of Boba Fett riding the Rancor.
Oh,
sick.
sick!
Yeah,
That
kinda-
episode
let me
is
see if I
dope,
can-
Dude.
No Kenobi spoilers right now. I'm not.
Oh
caught up.
shit! Look at that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's a pretty dope one. I got
I'm
it
so
this
happy
last
they
weekend.
made the executive decision to include that as a canonical scene. Like that's now a thing. Like,
Oh, I know.
riding the Rancor.
Bane rides
Freaking epic, dude. All right, so we got
Right,
It's a
so-
Wonderful Life for Noah here. We got Titanic
There.
for Sarah. And then Andrew is let's see, Indiana Jones, Empire Strikes Back, and original Ghostbusters. All right, so now we got 2 more people here.
All right, so mine is The Matrix.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
good one.
By far, I'm also one of the people that enjoyed 2 and 3 for what they were. 4 doesn't exist, so we don't talk about it. And part of it is also because of the music, and it introduced me to industrial and big beat.
Okay.
And I actually transcribed some of the Matrix score for Four Mallet Marimba in college.
No way. That's incredible.
Huge fan of the soundtrack, the industrial remix of like old Rob Zombie tracks.
Heck
Stuff like
yeah.
that really got me into that darker side of like the club scene, which is really sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, the first time I saw that was like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. It wasn't very long ago. And it was
Really?
great.
Wow.
Yeah, when people told me, you know, oh, don't you love Keanu Reeves? I'm like, yeah, dude, Bill and Ted's is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
I mean, that's a valid answer, though.
No,
Yeah,
I-
so
I'm like,
I knew him as Ted, right?
It was like influential. It stuck in my mind, and like this is my aesthetic for the next 15 years.
I love it, dude. And now you make music that's in that realm. Like,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
incredible. I love that, man. All right, Kelsey, last but not least.
All right, I'm gonna go the whole opposite direction and say The Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah!
What a good choice.
Oh yeah,
I love
and
that.
really quick on tour every night we pick a movie to watch. I wish we watched that. We were going.
We'll watch
that
it on
on
the
the
next
next
one.
one.
We watched
did.
Whole
Speed
Shrek,
Trek.
and we stopped. We got too tired. But
That
that
was
was
gonna
the
be a two-time thing. That's it.
no.
Oh man.
Every time we came home, we were like, y'all, no, we
No,
got
bedtime or shot
We watched the,
time.
the Office one night.
bedtime or shot time is what it is.
Oh, okay, okay.
We have like
That's for y'all.
specific like groups of different like so. This is basically our whole touring existence: is Fireball and Twin Snakes.
Fireball and Twin Snakes. All right, you're
And
gonna.
vodka. We get vodka
At
for
the
Tom.
same time.
Oh,
I consume caffeine on tour.
Tom, Noah's very nice because they DD for us. We don't get like really drunk, but like, you know, like after our last night, we went and we partied with City of Auburn and we all.
I did do a shot on the last night of tour.
Yeah, we did.
And they don't normally drink, so that was a big deal.
I'm allergic, so I don't really drink.
They were
much,
sitting.
but it hurts my body, and
Yeah,
it's good, but.
All right. Well, Kelsey, are you going with that as your number one? Or are you doing your top three?
No, it's definitely my number one. Holes is definitely
Holes.
like a
She
number
quotes
two.
Holes so much.
I was annoying.
The duck may swim on the lake,
But
but my daddy owns the lake. So
Oh my god. I'm a
Oh.
good.
So did you love Holes because you read the book first, or did you love Holes because you loved Shia LaBeouf and Stanley Yelnats and Zero and
honestly just I watched it like every single day when I got home from school.
We used to watch it a lot growing up.
Yeah, it was kind of like a nostalgic thing for me.
heck yeah.
I'm surprised I don't quote it more. Kelsey knows like word for word.
I
Mhm.
can fix that.
Yeah.
I can fix that.
I can fix that. Yeah, every time I like when I first watched that movie, so I grew up watching a lot of old fashioned TV. And so like when I watched that movie, I was like, hey, that's Fonzie. Like, because it's Stanley Yelnats,
Oh my
you know.
God.
Oh!
It's Fonzie from Happy Days. And that was all I remembered when I first watched it as a kid. I was like, wait, Fonzie. And it was just like this weird realization. And then I was like obsessed with the movie because Shia LaBeouf was one of my favorites back then. Like Even Stevens was one of the greatest TV shows ever.
Hey, he
Surprise.
was even sick in the first couple of Transformers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. And then Disturbia. Can't forget about Disturbia, right? Like
Disturbia.
He was in that
yes.
music video too of Sia. I liked it. I thought
Oh
it was
yeah.
I
cool.
didn't see that one.
Maddie Ziegler.
Okay. Oh, I did. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that.
And so like he can
You
like
can do
formally
jujitsu.
dance. He can formally dance too. Like he's really talented. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's super talented. There's zero denying that. And like you kind of feel for him because you hear some interviews and you're just like, dude, you just like he kind of was talking about how he kind of lost himself because of being so injected into everything all the time. He didn't really have a
You
chance
know
to
how
stop and get to know
famous he
himself.
was and how young he was.
Just
you know?
Yeah.
do it.
That video was his, like, someone he knew was like a film student, and they needed someone to stand in front of a green screen and speak and move so they could practice keying things to it.
And that's what that is.
Oh,
And that's what it came from?
And they made it a meme.
And it got memed.
I like it. I think it's good.
I mean, like I said, I think like because I watched Fury recently, and he was just like that. All the guys in that movie was dark, but those guys, all of them were stellar. And that I don't know if you've seen that one, but because that was Brad Pitt had the guy who played
That's about the tank, right?
the tank
Yeah.
soldiers in World War II.
Tank
Yeah,
soldiers in World War II.
Oh, that already sounds cool.
yeah.
yeah, and it has that Hispanic guy who's super hilarious in Ant-Man.
Oh, what is that
Oh,
fucker's
what's
name?
his face?
Luis.
Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Best MCU character ever.
Yeah, dude, like he made Ant-Man for me. Like, well, between him and Paul Rudd, it was just
Michael Pena.
genuinely the
Oh
best.
yeah, Michael Pena. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude, he's awesome. But he was in it as well. It was, I mean, like I said, it was pretty dark. It was a pretty gritty movie, but anyway, man.
Horror movies, so we're kind of into that. Like,
Oh,
that.
horror.
Okay.
Ice Nine
Amazing.
Kills new merch drop was Grateful Dead themed. Ah.
Nice, dude. Ice Nine Kills. I don't listen to metal music, but I'm impressed at all the cool things they've done. It's so cool.
They are so.
We are definitely
Yes.
not obsessed with them
At all.
at all. They're coming to Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Oh dang, Red. That's kind of when you know you've arrived as a band is to play Red
Oh, yeah.
Rock.
That's the goal.
I mean, did you
That's
see
the
that?
goal.
You see, speaking of in this world of realm of music, you see the state champs Neck Deep, Mod Sun, Black Bear Red Rock show. That was a thing that happened.
Really?
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
on the
that
road
actually
when
happened. Like we were literally on tour, but it was Black Bear headlining. Neck Deep was their direct support, and then state champs and Mod Sun opened.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. 'Cause,
Red
like
Rock.
it makes sense for Black Bear and Mod Sun, right? Because of how mainstream popular they are. But for like, honestly, State Champ's new album, holy crap, what a
Heater,
banger!
heater,
Killer.
heater, bro.
Yeah, what a banger, dude!
And
Like,
the new Neck Deep song, equally a heater.
oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm so pumped for some more Neck Deep. And like I don't remember when it was. I'm sure you guys went to it as well. But the Pure Noise tour, where it was state champs.
4 years strong. Real
4 years
fans,
strong. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude.
we're at that show, Andrew.
Yeah,
What a
Noah and I were
killer
like
show.
essentially fist fighting during 4 years strong.
Dude, I love it, man. Thank you guys so much for your time. It was so cool getting to talk with you.
Yeah,
And
thank you for having us. We're amazed that I mean, we're amazed that anyone cares enough to like ask
Yeah.
us
and
in the first place.
to know us and then us disappear and then have us on again like that.
yeah, like
You remember
I'm
that,
I'm
like-
just glad that I wasn't like going crazy because I genuinely I thought it was like the Mandela effect where I was just like, did I actually see this or did I not see it? And it was I was so confused, but then I was like, no, it says it came out in 2021. I am way off. Apparently, I'm misremembering everything, and I wasn't, and I'm not crazy, and it makes me very happy.
No, you're not crazy. We got you, bro.
And yeah, honestly, like I said, In Color is on repeat. I am a big fan, so I'm
Thank
super
you so
super
much.
stoked.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have a killer rest of your night, and whenever you come to Utah, make sure you message me and tell me so I can be there. I want to see it.
We promise.
You'll
We
be the first
promise.
one.
I love
When
it.
you pick our set list, dude, you can tell us what songs from In Color you want to hear because we pretty much
Well,
most of
really,
The only Midden Prex was better tomorrow and Disaster.
really complicated is just like the main one that like I would just say open on complicated. That's all I would say.
Okay,
You know,
we can do
Open with
open on
complicated?
complicated.
That's not a terrible
Easy.
idea.
We can do that. We can do
That's-
that.
That's a really good.
That's
idea.
Utah? Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
I feel like
Alright.
that one is just like a like you could just have that kind of like that intro.
That's literally
synth
what they were
part.
just saying
That's what we-
behind me, dude. Is they're
Yeah,
saying
just kinda
you said
playing.
intro a little bit. Yeah.
As you come on. Yeah, it'd be a great little introduction onto the stage. It'd be great.
Bring our set list for tour now.
Maybe we will. All right.
I love it. Awesome, guys. Well, you guys have a stellar evening. It was so awesome talking with you.
Thank you, brother. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for having
All
us.
right, peace out. Man, how cool. Double header. I'm a little tired because I don't know, that's a lot more talking than I normally do because I'm mentally I'm a little bit tired, but that was awesome. Those guys are awesome, and check out their music because it's dope. But I don't know when the next interview is scheduled for. I will obviously schedule it and you'll see it on here, but look for clips from Seneca Burns as well as clips from the Plainview interview that will be dropping between tonight and tomorrow in those times. So until next time, deuces.